Audio Now. Selected shows are broadcast by partner stations, cable networks, and on satellite in Europe, North America, Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. Download Radio Poland podcasts from our homepage, TuneIn, and Stitcher. For more details, check out radiopoland.pl. Stay with us on Radio Poland. Radio Poland, the external service of Polish Radio.
Hi, I'm Michał Owczarek in Warsaw, hosting this News from Poland on Friday, October the 16th. For starters, let's take a quick look at some of the features in this edition of our Current Affairs magazine. New and even harsher restrictions come into force this Saturday as Poland steps up battle with coronavirus.
It is a real danger, real threat, real for Poland, real for the countries of Europe and the world. May this danger be a time for us all to work together as closely as possible.
Also, Polish, French and German foreign ministers discuss Belarus and transatlantic ties at the Weimar Triangle talks.
It's important that we meet again because the Weimar Triangle makes Europe go forward due to what our countries represent, due to our history. A German, a Pole and a Frenchman working together to promote peace, democracy, security, human rights.
More info coming up later on, and now let's have the news stories of the day. Poland reports new coronavirus-related record. Hard Brexit could reduce Polish exports. Urban development in focus ahead of UN event in Poland. Poland on Friday reported a new daily record of 132 coronavirus-related deaths and over 7.7 thousand fresh cases. Its second highest number of single-day COVID-19 infections since the start of the pandemic. A total of nearly 160,000 people have tested positive for the coronavirus in Poland since the pandemic began, and nearly 3,500 have died in connection with the COVID-19 respiratory disease so far, officials announced. Of the new cases confirmed on Friday, the most were in the southern province of Małopolskie, which includes the historic city of Kraków. Meanwhile, the second biggest number of new infections were reported in the central region of Mazowieckie, which contains the national capital Warsaw. Tougher measures to battle COVID-19 will be introduced in Poland this weekend, with the number of red zones, those with the most severe restrictions, set to be increased to cover almost half the country. Secondary schools and universities in such areas, which will include Warsaw, will have to switch to distance learning, while wedding parties will not be allowed. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki told reporters on Thursday. Poland on Thursday introduced special shopping hours for people aged over 60 between 10 a.m. and noon. Amid a spike in coronavirus cases, strict new rules came into effect in the country last weekend, under which everyone is required to wear a face mask covering when going out in public. Meanwhile, Poland is planning new rules under which medical staff who have to treat COVID-19 patients amid an escalating epidemic will not be punished if they make mistakes, the country's health minister has said. Adam Niedzielski said the Good Samaritan rule would allow doctors to feel safe. Says Tomasz Latos, head of the Parliamentary Health Committee.
Ta odpowiedzialność nie może być w sytuacjach takich.
The accountability of the health service amidst pandemic cannot be such as that in normal circumstances. Currently, the doctors face challenges almost like in wartime. Another issue in this difficult period is raising remuneration for people who are taking risks.
Dla osób, które pracują w tym zagrożeniu.
Minister Niedzielski added that medical staff who are not infectious disease specialists would be brought in to help fight the epidemic. Some Polish doctors have voiced concern, pointing out that they have not been trained to treat coronavirus patients. Niedzielski said that medical staff deployed to help fight the coronavirus would receive extra pay. A variety of urban development ideas are expected to be discussed as Poland prepares to host a United Nations conference on cities in 2022. Poland is holding its National Urban Forum on Friday to discuss planned steps to promote sustainable development and outline new policies, public broadcaster Polish Radio reported. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the conference is an all-online experience. During the event, officials are expected to discuss preparations for the 11th World Urban Forum, a major global conference on urban development that is due to take place in the southern Polish city of Katowice in 2022. A hard Brexit and a return to UK customs duty would contribute to a drop in demand for Polish goods on the British market, a recent study has found. The Polish Economic Institute announced on Thursday that a hard Brexit could lead to a fall in Polish exports by over 10%, representing €1.5 billion. In the group of agri-food products, it could even reach 25%, and the highest duties would apply to tobacco products, dairy products and meat products, the report says. EU relations with the UK are on the agenda at a two-day EU summit in Brussels, which started on Thursday. Among the topics for discussion is the current state of negotiations on the future partnership between the UK and the bloc. According to the Polish Economic Institute, it is highly unlikely for a deal regulating EU-UK relations to come into force from the start of January 2021. If the parties do not agree on an extension to the transition period, the UK will become a third country in EU relations. This would mean a return to customs duty and customs, veterinary and product safety controls, affecting costs and extending delivery time across the English Channel. Memorial events in Poland and abroad have paid tribute to John Paul II, the late Polish-born Pope, who led the Roman Catholic Church from 1978 to 2005. Friday marks 42 years since Polish Cardinal Karol Wojtyła was elected Pope John Paul II. A host of religious and cultural events were held last Sunday throughout Poland as Poles remembered John Paul II on what is known as Papal Day. The late pontiff was a strong supporter of Poland's anti-communist solidarity movement. He's recognized as a key influence in helping to end communist rule in Poland in 1989. During his first pilgrimage to his native country in 1979, he sent a powerful message to the Polish people at a time when the nation was still under communism. Just over a year later, the Solidarity Freedom Movement was born in the country. In 1981, the Pope was shot and seriously wounded in an assassination attempt at St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. John Paul II, who visited 130 countries during his long pontificate, was the third longest-serving pontiff in history and was declared a saint in 2014. Just a reminder for the latecomers that you are listening to Radio Poland, to our weekday current affairs magazine News from Poland, hosted in Warsaw by me, Michał Owczarek, for another 20 minutes. As of Saturday, October the 17th, a new and even harsher restrictions come into force as Poland steps up battle with coronavirus. Over to Elżbieta Krajewska.
A week ago exactly, stricter rules were introduced in all of the country amid a spike in coronavirus cases, including the requirement to cover mouth and nose outdoors, as well as in public spaces indoors. On Thursday, shops reintroduced special senior hours in a slot between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. The same day, yet new restrictions were announced after continued daily record increases in coronavirus infections and related deaths. As of Saturday, 152 boroughs are being flagged red as those with the top level of risk. Health Minister Adam Niedzielski said these were areas in which over 70% of Poland's population live. The red zone include major cities Warsaw and Kraków.
Powiaty czerwone to przede wszystkim miasta I duże ośrodki.
These are mainly cities and the big urban centers. Currently, out of 16 voivodeship capitals, 11 are red zones. The cities include Bydgoszcz, Toruń, Lublin, Łódź, Kraków, Warsaw, Przemyśl, Rzeszów, Kielce, Białystok, Gdańsk, Gdynia and Sopot, that is the Tri-City, and Częstochowa.
Czyli całe Trójmiasto, Poznań I Częstochowa.
From Saturday, in such areas, secondary schools and universities will have to switch to distance learning. Wedding parties are not allowed. The number of customers in shops will be restricted to 5 per till, while people are able to meet socially in groups of no more than 10. Swimming pools and gyms have to shut. Bars and restaurants will close early, with only takeaway possible after 9 p.m. On buses, metros and trams in the red zones, half the available number of seats will have to be left unoccupied. Sports events will take place without fans. Among the cities topping the list as regards number of infections is Kraków, a historic place full of tourists all the year round, now facing red zone restrictions that will mean not insignificant economic consequences. City President Jacek Majchrowski. This really means a deeper crisis in culture, tourism and everything connected. I do believe that the state authorities, and everything depends on them, should not hesitate to draw back even from drastic actions to focus the epidemic and crush it as soon as possible. Announcing the new restrictions, Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki spoke of implementing measures that would protect against the spread of the coronavirus, but at the same time wanting to keep the economy working as much as possible, as well as underlining the threat. It is a real danger, real threat, real for Poland, real for the countries of Europe and the world. May this danger be a time for us all to work together as closely as possible. A special session of the Polish Parliament has been called for next Tuesday, devoted to the pandemic. As the Presidium of the Sejm met this Friday, Deputy Speaker Ryszard Terlecki told journalists. The Presidium is presenting a plan for Tuesday. The Prime Minister is to present information on the situation in the country. On Friday, Poland's Health Ministry reported a new daily record of 132 coronavirus-related deaths. This followed Thursday's record daily rise in coronavirus infections for the second consecutive day, confirming 8,099 new cases. I'm Elżbieta Krajewska, reporting for News from Poland.